Okay.
Hey guys, we are on and live and ready to get started. Thank everybody for coming. I really, really appreciate it. This is the first one that I'm doing, but I'm hoping we'll be able to do it monthly. Metro will be attending, but Solomon is set at the jail, so he'll be here about 4. But I figured this will still give us a good time to be able to talk amongst ourselves as far as what's going on, that kind of thing, any questions that might come up that we would have for Metro. So this is, again, something that I'm hoping to be able to do monthly for everybody to get together, get to know their communities, invite other organizations, and invite other organizations to be able to take part in it. As you guys can see who are here, there's a lot of homeless. There's a lot of homeless. And our organization, we are Golden Rainbow. We provide financial assistance and housing to people living with HIV and AIDS. So with that, then there's a lot of people that we can't help, because with the grants that we have for us to be able to serve our community, you do have to have an HIV diagnosis. So we receive a lot of phone calls, we receive a lot of emails of people needing that assistance and needing that help that we don't know where to turn them to. We don't have those connections. We have those soft points where we might be able to, try here, try there, but there's not that community base of the organizations where we know that when we hand them off to somebody, that we know that somebody is there to be able to take care of them. So again, I appreciate all of you for coming. And if we could go around the room and if you can all introduce yourselves, your organizations, and what you all do, as well as online, that would be amazing. So we'll start here, yeah.
My name is Charles Bowden. I do not belong to a specific organization, but I am here invited by another person who should actually do from the center. I guess I'm here just to give, perspective from an LGBT perspective, and just share my thoughts, because like a lot of what you said, a lot of the stuff is stuff that impacts the LGBT community, and it's other stuff homeless too. So
Thank you so much. And your name again?
oh, Charles.
Charles. Okay, thank you, Charles.
Steve Connor, I am the community engagement outreach specialist for the organization that started Youth Was Youth in 2016. But I am also a executive director for an organization, small organization here called
Hi, I'm Christy. I'm from Lighthouse Charities. We serve the refugee population.
I'm Ron Big with Keller Williams. Manager, realtor. Pretty simple.
I'm Dr. Senovos. I'm the executive director here at the Center.
Erin Almada, I'm the deputy director here at Community Counseling Center.
I am people. I'm just a receptionist.
I'm Teresa, and I'm one of the things that I'm here is facilities manager. So when things happen to our building, I'm the one that has to figure out how we fix it.
Awesome. Thank you all so much. And we have a new arrival.
Yeah, my name is Victoria Martinez. I'm from the Barangay Link and ACSC. Thank you. I'm a navigator for the ACSC.
Thank you so much. Can we get the online Zafiro? I do apologize if I'm mispronouncing your name.
Oh yeah, no, you got it good. Thank you. I go by Z. It's a lot easier. I am the service navigator for Sagebrush Health. So we offer free PEP and PrEP services. And we are located off of Smoke Ranch and Buffalo. So yeah, we're also an infectious disease clinic. So we have several providers here, and we offer free walk-ins for anybody wanting to do HIV testing.
Thank you so much. And Aramka, how about yourself, please?
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Zaronka Caruth. I work for Aid for AIDS of Nevada. We provide supportive services under Ryan White and housing services under HOPWA.
Wonderful. And Jessica?
Hi, everyone. I'm Jessica with NAMI Southern Nevada. I'm the admin assistant there. If you don't know, NAMI stands for the National Alliance on Mental Illness, and we provide a ton of different things, but one of the main things is our support groups. So we have two different support groups, one for those with mental health challenges themselves, and then a separate one for family members. We typically host both on the same day just because they like drive there at the same time typically, so we make it easy for them. But we also do presentations at schools, at other job sites, at not other nonprofits. So we try and network a lot. So attend tabling events throughout the community.
Awesome. Thank you so much. 1 second. Somebody's trying to get up. Let me go grab them. Okay.
Both doors are open.
open.
Yeah.
So they can just come straight back.
Yeah.
Just go straight out. Thank you. Thank you all so much for introducing. We do have a good melting pot here of people that do a lot of various things. But one thing that I have noticed is that we may not realize the connection that we all have and that somebody may need services and stuff like that. I was actually at a workshop where I met Jessica. And so if we were brainstorming about what is needed within the organization, not just with clients. And one of those things was for the people that serve need mental health, help. And it's not, we're always thinking about the client, but we don't think about ourselves. We interact with people regularly who are going through the worst part of their lives. And yet, we're not checking in with ourselves. We're not, making sure that we're okay. Okay, thanks for coming. Sorry about that. No, you're fine. We actually just finished the introduction. If you would
Okay.
like.
I am the Director of Public Affairs and Civic Engagement at the LGBT Center.
Awesome. I believe this is who you're waiting for.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you and welcome. So, everybody introduced themselves, and I was speaking about how Jessica, she works with an organization that provides mental health services, and how we all interact with people who are clients who are living their lives at the same time. We're not necessarily checking in with ourselves and making sure that we're okay. And that's actually a service that she provides, where she can go to your agency and speak with the people that actually work there to be able to make sure that, they're checking in well and that kind of thing.
Is that a free service? Or is it?
Yes, it's something we do for free. All of our services that we do are free. So one of the things we do for other nonprofits or something maybe for you, it's a stress management workshop that one of our staff presents. And so if you are interested in that, you notice that a lot of the workers are stressed out, we provide that.
Great, thank you. That's great information.
Awesome. So, what have you all encountered and what are the struggles that you're finding when it comes to, helping your clients and the homeless population and just I know even with our own executive director, and, he's had violent encounters, and things like that. So what remedies have you found? What have you, what are your frustrations, that kind of thing?
Sadly, we have not found remedies, which is really core of the problem, but the problem is all around us, unfortunately. We just met our management team today, and one of our big challenges being that we're surrounded by these open lots, we have the encampments, but we also have clients who are coming here who are scared to have to pass through there. Large client population we serve as adolescents. And so, their parents don't want to bring them here. They don't want to walk past that. We find drug paraphernalia, needles, So there's lots of problems that we encounter at this location.
Mhm.
We call, like, I mean, our front desk is like on the phone with Metro half the day, and there's very little that they're willing to do, or that they can do, because a lot of it is private property. So it's like, you know, if there's any act of criminal act taking place, they'll come and do something, but even at that, there have been times when we call 911 and it's 45 minutes before somebody shows up. If you call 311, you're on hold for 2 or 3 hours. It's, you know, so it's like, it appears that we're not doing anything, and I know that's a frustration people sometimes express, and it's like, no, we do, like, it's like somebody's full-time job here to try to manage this, and it still is not working.
Wow. So I'm wondering, do we know who owns the property around us?
Some of them,
It's not one owner, because there's several different lots.
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of them live out of state and just own property.
Okay.
In fact, in this vacant lot across from us used to be a building that's identical to that one. It was broken into, and homeless, who lived there for, I don't know, how many months, just full of people. And Metro got here every single day. We had to deal with, finally track down the owner, who lives in Tennessee, and the city ultimately forced them to tear the building down. Because just in and out all day were drug deals. And, you know, in this room right here, looking at it, we have substance treatment groups going on.
Because I know, so another friend of mine who wasn't able to make it, she's actually a real estate, she does commercial real estate, and so I know that that's a struggle with her, and she is constantly on the phone with Metro, having people remove, changing locks and that kind of thing. And so that's why I'm wondering why the burden, if you will, isn't placed on the owners of the lot to have property management and stuff like that, and make sure that they're clear. And I know a lot of these questions would go to Metro, and unfortunately, I don't know if all of you heard, but our Metro officer that's coming got stuck at the jail, so he'll be here at about 4. And he does his apologies.
Yeah, I think that might help, you know, clear things up and have
Exactly.
some information in, because I know that, Metro has a program, that somebody I know spoke about it briefly, so I don't have the details, but it's like, you know, reaching out to businesses to like, look at the property, you know, put more safety things in place, you know, like, you know, upkeep and appearance of the outside and stuff like that. I don't know all the details again.
Yeah, we have them here.
You got them here.
So,
I mean, it's,
They suggested we added more cameras so we can see things happening more, but it doesn't stop it.
well, they,
We said it.
but, cameras, right?
But our lock is that, you know, people break into the courtyard, right, we want to, we've not locked it on the weekends.
Yeah.
You know, it's just that it doesn't stop it, it just gives, it forces them to be more creative.
exactly, and it's not on you all, it's, again, it's on the other. Anything could be done. Particularly in this area, I think really bad.
But that's the challenge, because, you know, you can't help but look at everyone out there, feel, you know, passion, you want to do something, but where can they go? There's no affordable housing, there, you know, shelters are full. So there's a reason, this group is right on the sidewalk, it's because that's kind of like the no man's land, they can stay there without being trespassed. If they were to move slightly over, someone could call Metro, they come out here, they trespass them, and they would just take everything they have and move it like 30 feet over. But that happens here all the time. These encampments move every day. And right now it's there on the sidewalk because they can't do anything about it there. Yeah.
Well, but even at that, they take over our carports on the weekends, like they set up apartments in the carports, and it's private property, there's no, but Metro will come and go, we'll spray no trespassing on the wall. And it's like, so then, you know, they'll come and tell them they get to move, so they'll move long enough for Metro to leave and then come back.
Yeah, and, you know, the new place where we're at, you know, I mean, we see our children in the center, but, new place where it doesn't accommodate, and there's a lot of people, and mostly it's fine. But it's just that, like, I wish that people would have the foresight, like, I want them to be safe, and that alley back there is a safe area. I just, like, it's just, I wish that they wouldn't leave everything around. But yeah, Tuesday, somebody smashed the windows there and broke in and like just destroyed the place, so. And it's worse in the summertime.
Yeah, this is the time of year we always get our irrigation lines pulled up, and they rip them open, you know, they want water and they'll wash themselves, but, you know, we come in. Any morning, you'll see water just spraying out of the irrigation line, and then we have to call someone to come and repair it, and day in and day out.
We've had, I mean, we used to have outdoor spigots that we had to have capped because they would turn them on and it would just like gallons and gallons and gallons of water would just run. We've had our power cut, blew our our power supply to the building. We actually worked kind of close for 3 days until we could get a power supply to the building. Like, I mean, it's a problem.
So, have you all heard of CARE? They're a nonprofit agency. So have you guys, has there been any collaboration with them where there's been any, that, but no, they, a representative was supposed to be coming from them. But I know that they work not only with the homeless and getting them housed and employed, but also they, work with Metro closely as well as the local businesses on the strip and stuff like that. Have they been able to provide any kind of assistance or anything?
Yeah, and I know that in some parts they've done like community gardens and stuff like that too.
But you guys haven't, been able to collaborate.
What's their name? Oh, Paradise.
Hello? Hello? Okay, that's fine, but you don't have to call when somebody comes, just have them come up through because it's open. Thank you, bye. We got more people coming. But you guys, so you said you haven't talked to them in a while and, you all hadn't, worked with them at all? Okay, so hopefully that'll be a connection that's helpful because they're, from what I understand, our meeting with them, then that's the main focus that they work on is housing the homeless population. And, there's a couple of networks that I'm gonna be looking into as well to hopefully bring forth for the next meeting, but one of them is, come on.
Okay.
It's open.
Hello. Okay. We have to get involved. I apologize. Thank you. I apologize, I'm Mujahid Ramadan.
I'm sorry.
Mujahid Ramadan, I'm a part of Metro's Cultural Advisory Council.
Oh, wonderful.
AJ and I collaborated ventures together.
Oh, wonderful. Okay. Thank you. Welcome. So, oh, yes, so there is, it's called, which I just found out about this, but it's the, homeless continuum. I don't know if any of you all have heard about that. So, another representative that, was gonna try to make it, she told me about that. So they're trying to put together a whole streamlined way of taking care of the homeless, like starting to getting them housed, employed, and that kind of thing. And it's called the homeless continuum. So that is something I'm gonna be looking into more. to be able to bring to the next meeting, because it is something that I just found out about. So, and I was also at, Nevada Women's Philanthropy Group. They also had a seminar about, homelessness recently and the need for low income housing. And it is in the works, and that is something that, that they, as well as casinos and the state, are working with to be able to build more low income housing. And they were saying that a lot of what they're running into is that non-backyard aspect of it. And so there is another organization that's called YIMBY, Yes in My Backyard. And so their goal is to educate people about that 70% of the homeless are not the people with mental illness or the people with addictions and things like that. It's people that simply cannot afford housing, and oftentimes it's your neighbor. So they are, there's an organization that's working, and we are trying to get them into Nevada, where they're going around and educating people, about that 70%. It's the 30% that you get, that you see on the news and all that kind of stuff, but they are not the majority. And so getting people to understand that we can build low income housing in nice areas. It's not going to bring down property value. It's not going to, all these nightmare scenarios that they have in their head. One of the people that were there is Jess, and I'm going to put his last name, so I'm going to try, but he is the one that does development for Ovation, and they do the apartments for low income senior housing around the valley. So I'm gonna be trying to get these people as well involved and stuff like that. Get, like I said, businesses, organizations and stuff. This is the first one. I do apologize, it's a bit scattered, but it's something that's just really close to my heart, and that started with. So I started Golden Rainbow last year. So I just had my 1-year anniversary with them, and so this was something that I wanted to do last year. Need to, let's get your feet, get your footing with, your new position. So it is something that I'm definitely passionate about, that I will continue to move forward with, continue to get more information to bring to the table. If you all, have contact information, people that provide housing that aren't necessarily specific to, there was another organization, and all of these organizations I'm going to be sending out an email with all this information on there. And there's another organization that they provide assistance for people, and they do not have to be low income for them to get the assistance. Because another thing that I had brought up at that meeting is that just because you have money doesn't mean you don't need help. And why is it that somebody has to get to the very lowest that, before we provide any assistance? And I found out that the government actually does not have any programs that provide assistance for people that are not low income, which is absolutely ridiculous. It was to prevent people from getting to that point, not picking them up when they're down, it's making sure that they don't fall. So it's a lot easier to pull somebody, or to mark somebody away from the cliff than to try to pull them up, not to mention all the resources that go into it, just, to get them back up. So, I'm just, navigating, I am learning and growing and all that kind of stuff, but different things that's being seen that, I'm gonna try to get everybody together and try and push for these kinds of things. So,
and I think that this is great, and I think that we should all work together to figure out what needs to change, if anything, legislatively, so that we can, as a group, talk to our legislators and be like, this is what needs to happen. Because the programs that you're talking about, and it is 70%, like, those people that need that help, I don't know about y'all, but like, those people we got them, right? But I think that the conversation that we're having is around that safety piece. And like, because the 30% is who we see.
Yes.
Right? And they're the ones that we all have compassion for. And we don't want to hurt them, but there's a lot of factors. And so like, in the state, Governor Lombardo was talking about adding to the state mental health, 6161, but like said that they were adding forensic psychology. And I'm like, okay, but the beds are full at Ross and Neal. Because most of the people that are in there are having like, well, at least when I was doing my internship through community housing center there. They were all in there because they were addicted to a substance. And so then, but everybody was diagnosed as bipolar. And, you know, and then there's not room in those places. So, you know, we got rid of asylums because they were horrible places, but like now the asylum is the street and the jail cell. And we don't have enough. Like, I wish there was like, almost like, you know, portables for 5 months to help us through the summertime. With people that are experiencing, you know, severe mental health crisis, substance abuse crisis, whatever that may be, and how do we, you know, treat people compassionately, and there's no place for them to go. And so that's what I'm wondering about, if we can like work together to come up with some of the solutions that we can go to our legislative body then, or our governor's office, and be like, this is the problem, this is what we're experiencing, this is what we think might help.
Because I know we talked about the shelters before earlier too, in a sense. I had an experience of being able to actually stay in the courtyard shelter. I don't know if anybody knows what that is. It's a very unacceptable living condition. It's open air. I don't even know why it's even called a shelter when it's just people living underneath a shade. I'm part of it. Yeah, I mean, it's like, how in the world would people consider that acceptable, which is also why I'm glad I'm hearing, you know, these points come across, because to be honest, it's all unacceptable for anything to feel out, like even in the 21st century. That's happening.
We, like, the people who come around here, we do try to engage when we can and just let them know who we are, what we do, what we offer, you know, like a lot of them either could get Medicaid or on Medicaid, so we'll tell them, you know, or they would qualify for one of our funding sources. So we'll tell them, you know, if you come in and get, you know, an assessment, we can help you with case management, help you with housing. But the reality, and then sometimes it works, once in a while it does work, but a lot of times they don't want it. A lot of, I mean, there's a lot of like paranoid stuff happening where they, you know, or they're high or they're dangerous, or, I mean, as you know, you mentioned with Gary, but, you know, there's definitely a lot of things that make you not feel safe going near them. I mean, we have staff that are here till, you know, at least now it's light later, but during the other part of the year, it gets dark at like 4 o'clock, and we have people leaving by themselves, and, you know, so there's not always an easy route to help them.
Exactly. And I do know, that the Metro officer was saying that there is a valley-wide, community outreach, group. Oh, you know that?
Where are they?
Mental health. We have a number for them too, and it's like, there's like a special downtown command. It doesn't make a difference. We get these messages, nobody calls back.
And it's downtown command that was saying that there's, so it's.
Downtown command, okay?
So, yeah, and like I said, unfortunately, he did get held up, because a lot of it, that's why I wanted to bring the police officers into the room. Because a lot of it is about, you know, what answers do you all have for us? Because we do reach out, we're doing what we think we're supposed to be doing, we're, you know, doing the channels that we think we're supposed to.
Yeah, like, even like, I mean, like Teresa and I can access our camera offsite, so we'll check on the weekends, see what's happening, and especially when it's cold days at fires. Like, and we actually have better luck on response time calling fire and rescue than we do calling the police. So whenever, like, I mean, they set like, they'll get like buckets and set fires in the carport or behind the building or close to the building, or they'll gather branches, and so if we see it, we'll call fire and rescue, and they at least come within like 5 minutes usually, 5 to 10 minutes, but Metro, it's like, especially calling Las Vegas 311, you're on for who knows how long, and even if they say somebody, I mean, one time I was in the building a couple years ago, someone broke into our courtyard and had like a fabricated like shiv type thing that they made, and I'm like, I'm in the building, I cannot leave, there's someone with a weapon in the courtyard, and I think it was like they left before the police got here. So,
And then it becomes a closed case after that. Because, yeah.
Yeah, we're especially sensitive to fire issues because our last building was attacked by an arsonist. So, you know, there's times that we'll leave at night, we smell burning trash, rubber, and we walk around the building. And yeah, so then we get worried because we think we're gonna, you know, get a call, the building's burned down again. Wow.
Yeah, we haven't even called them when we know that they're in possession of a knife and it still will take a couple hours. And then what only, this last time when that happened, they came out, the people had left, but they left their knives out on the side of the street. The cops took them, threw them in the bushes.
Oh,
Yeah,
a
they threw them in
bucket,
the bushes.
a bucket of knives, and I'm not making this part up, sex toys. And they just moved them all to the side of the building.
And I'm thinking, well, if, you know, there's some people that in the houses that will come let their dogs out, or sometimes our clients have kids and they go out there and play in the bushes. And I'm like, now there's knives in the bushes. I was like, so then Patrick had to retrieve them after the cops had left, and then we destroyed them or did whatever we did with them, but that was their answer, was to throw the weapons out.
Wow.
and I think the part that's so, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I think the part that's just so frustrating for us is there's all these perceived solutions, like, you just need to contact these people or talk to these people, and like, some people go, well, have you tried? Yes. And it's like, you know, it's the second first thing as the first, over and over again for us, and so it's like, you know, oh, well, there's all these community resources, there's in name,
Yes.
in name only. And I feel like Metro is, you know, they were short-staffed for a lot, I mean, they may still be, I'm not sure. I mean, you know, so I realize sometimes it's not considered critical compared to, you know, like there might be a murder or something.
Right.
Obviously, they have to prioritize, but at the same time, like,
Exactly.
you know, what are we supposed to do? But then what?
Exactly. And it's only getting-
Okay, you have a priority, but we still need this, so.
Have you tried a militia?
We've thought about it.
Actually, it's a joke, but truthfully, are you guys considering self-protection? And
Well,
CPW and that kind of stuff?
we had a management meeting today, and Chris, you mentioned security, but the issue with security is, one, it's very costly, but two, it doesn't do anything about this.
Yes.
It doesn't do anything about, you know, as soon as we leave at 8 o'clock,
They
this,
watch us.
this will turn into an entire tent city, and then in the morning, they move it. So the security, even that does very little.
Yeah.
But I think, you know, to your point earlier, AJ, the solution is really having to go above, you know, to legislators, to the city council. They need to have a place to go.
Yeah.
And so I feel bad for that I feel like so many of us put all the pressure on Metro. We need to fix this. Metro's already doing their job.
Yes.
They have no place to send homeless. So then they get this additional burden on them. And, you know, that's why it takes hours or days to get a response. So, you know, the solution is not, it does not lie with Metro, it lies with the city council and the state legislature.
Well, and then putting in laws like you can't sleep or you have to go to the courtyard. Like, I haven't been there, it's been a couple of years. But I mean, honestly, like, you know, you can put your stuff in a garbage can locked. Has anybody else been on? No, it's like malls, but it's down by where all the services are in that street. Down there, and, you know, I would say that, like, here, which is like, we don't want people seeing,
Yes.
so we're just gonna store them. And it's literally like storage for humans. And I went up there, I'm like, oh, I'm here to find this new resource that we could, you know, send people to do with. I went down there and I was like, okay, so where's the food and stuff? And there's nothing.
food runs out because they have people at church groups to do that too, I think there's a trick there. Then when it runs out too.
Yep.
Speaking.
And so it's not, like, it's a holding area, it's not really a thing. I mean, I saw drawings about what it's supposed to be. So it's outside. So they're outside. Yeah, and so there's no real way, I mean, I talked to people when I was there, you know, and this is another problem that it leads to where you were talking about, you know, we have this reactive type of government system where, you know, even if we break it down to locally, like NV Energy, right? Like, they can't help you until you're delinquent. Like, you can't call them and be like, hey, I'm not gonna make it this month. Like, can you help me? Well, when it's past due and you owe $900 instead of $300, then we can. You know, a lot of us are one paycheck away from. I had somebody come in and like needed $500 for a tire for her car, or else she's not gonna be able to get work to work. If she can't get to work, then she's gonna lose her job. And if she loses her job, then she's not gonna be able to afford where she lives. And so now we have to take care of this person's housing, their health insurance, that, you know, workforce development, you know, all of that stuff, because we couldn't come up with $500 to come up with a tire.
Exactly.
You know, and stuff like that, that just, you know, keeps me up at night, because why?
Exactly. And that is truly what this is built around, is that why are the systems the way that they are? And then what do we need to do to change them? And a lot of it has to do with, changing the laws in the government, like you guys are saying. And also why I want to get like businesses and community and stuff together is because what can we do? Because if they don't change something, or if they don't do something else, what funding can we raise? What can we do and say, look, this is what people see. We see that this is a need. Why aren't you guys doing your part? So when we can all come together, and it's not just one voice here and there and that kind of thing, but all of us together, including with, like I said, the police department, because you're right, they are only doing what they can do. They are still understaffed. That's why, because I had reached out to another department, and they were saying that they would love to come, because we've had communication with them before, but they couldn't make it because they are understaffed. They couldn't spare anybody. That had to do with both on days as well. It's like, we're gonna try and do another meeting, but you know, trying to get that people and spare people and stuff like that, to be able to do that even with the outreach. So all of us, including the police department, getting together, and it was like, this is a problem. What you guys have is not a solution. And the fact that we can, as unfortunate as it was, they built up these tents and these areas to put people, yet they tore them down, as if there's not still a need for, you know, places for people to stay. So obviously, you guys have the ability. The resources were there. You already spent the resources to put it up in the first place. So why then would you tear it down? Make it make sense. So this,
Yeah, and it's spending $250,000 a day on the special session and the legislation to get, you know, jam through the approval for the stadium that we're supposed to pay for. Like, and we have this problem.
exactly. And it's extremely frustrating.
So the 30% is they have mental health issues. People who have mental health issues self-medicate. So working like you said with legislation, trying to figure out how to get the 30% into the care that they need, so they won't shoot. That's the issue. Because we can't make them take their meds. But maybe it's working hard with the legislators try to fix this, to see if they can get some type of building. There's so many empty buildings here. There's empty hotels. You know, so they can help put it somewhere, and then while they're in there, give them the resources that they need, but give them this place to let them know that they're gonna be safe there, so they can get off the streets. Because like you said, a lot of them don't want that. They're scared, you're scared. You know, they don't know who to trust, you don't know who to trust, and so, I mean, just trying to figure out a way where they can go. Get one of these, there's so many buildings here, so many buildings, it doesn't make any sense. Exactly.
Well, Shelby County has done census out within their area, reaching out, asking everyone who actually has mental health issues, who's a veteran, who are parents, adults, kids. And it often turns out to be the individual doesn't want the service. Looks like we can help you, we have this program, and they work with Metro to go out there and find out these things and get the sense of what's going on. But it's usually that they don't want to take the service. I spoke to many people when I used to do testing at the Salvation Army, and I would ask them, you know, where are you, what's going on? It was a choice.
It's a mental health issue that they have, that's why they're not.
Well, I was like, the freedom. It was a
What is their mess?
But also some of them can't afford to rent.
Well, that's my, you all. And so I went to, Lima event, a couple of days ago, and there was probably like 100 different organizations talking about their services, and there were 1,000, I mean, I don't think 1,000, but like every single person that stood up had some kind of in-home treatment, inpatient, live here, so like, if there are so many of those organizations, so like, what is the barrier for people getting into those places? Is it money? Like, do they, because when I was doing in-home therapy, I would go to those places, but like, whatever, but like, and some of them were really good, some of them were managed really poorly, but I just, and then I had a kid that needed rehab, and like, I didn't get treatment anywhere. And if you did, it's like $30,000 a day, like, who has that? Okay. If you can afford $30,000 a day, great, let's go hire somebody to make you food and keep you in your house. I mean, that's insane, who can even, how's that physical business, like?
But even at that, once you go into inpatient treatment, where do you go when you come out? Because a lot of, like, really what you need after inpatient treatment is outpatient treatment, but a lot of people don't stick with it once they come out and they go right back to the same place that they started. The same people.
So what is the barrier? Like, I'm just thinking, like, say somebody is out and Metro's called, and they do an assessment, and this person is clearly using drugs. Now we don't, we have laws where we're doing this different kind of care, so we don't necessarily want to put them in jail. And so then what choice do they have, right? So why can't they call up this like substance abuse place and be like, hey, we need you to take this person from that,
I think the issue is we have a system that is all or nothing. It's completely black or white, totally bipolar. And what I mean by that is, so here you are living on this sidewalk and you need to be high all the time just to endure the hell of living on a sidewalk in Vegas. So going into an outpatient facility like you're talking about is impossible, because it is, what you're describing is 30,000. So a month to be in one of those. That's not covered by Medicaid or Medicare, which is what they would be qualified for. So the type of treatment they'd be eligible for is you can go to an inpatient psych hospital where the beds are full, but the only way you can hopefully guarantee you'll get in is if you say you're going to commit suicide or kill someone. They'll put you on a 72-hour hold, and their goal is to get you just doped up, medicated, and after your time, they need you out because they need the bed. Or then you're back on the street again, and the only way you can survive the hell of living on the street, keep getting high. So there's no incentive to come to a place like Community Counseling Center where it's like, okay, you can come here and you can do a substance group every day, but after your group, you're back on that sidewalk. So what's the incentive? you have no home, you have no job, because the system here, again, the all or nothing is, if you want to get on things like, the food stamps and be eligible for a housing program like Golden Rainbow or a job training program, you need to have all these system things in place. Like you need to show like you have an address. You need to show that you are hireable. You need to have transportation. So it's all limitations. And if you don't have all those things in place, it's just so much easier to go back to the sidewalk and get high. And so the system is just either you have it all or you have nothing. But there's no, and like it's been brought up in this discussion, there's no like, I'm about to fall off the cliff, I need help. It's, well, when you're down there, we may have some programs for you. But you're gonna fall.
Sure you were rope, but you're down there and the rope goes to here.
So there's nothing,
Yeah, that's a good analogy.
there's nothing in between. It's all either, this side or that side. And
It's like you said before, I'm sorry. Like you said before, if you go to like social services and say, I don't have money to pay my rent this month, but you're working, they won't help you. But if you're not working, they don't help you either because you're gonna have to pay this month, but not the next month, so they won't help you either. So it's not here either, so people prefer to throw everything away and go on the street.
And the other problem that you probably relate to, being a Golden Rainbow, some care aware, Ryan White. I have a client whose partner is Ryan White, so he's eligible for everything. They desperately need to get into some sort of food program because they don't have enough money for food. We've been working on this for weeks. The requirement is you'll get 2 denial letters and then you'll be eligible for a program. They're going all around town trying to get denial letters and they finally get them. And then when they submit it to their case manager, it's like, oh, your denial letter is gone beyond the window. You need to go back and get another. And this is a man who's in a wheelchair. He's has limited mobility and he's stressing out because how is he going to get all these denial letters to get food? And I'm constantly going in a circle with this case manager and it's, her hands are tied. She can't offer anything else because the rule is you have to go through all these hoops to get help.
Jessica?
Oh, yeah. Hey, so I just kind of want to piggyback on what's being discussed here. So in February, NAMI, we did go to the Nevada State Legislator event that they were having. And we did bring up what we thought or think is not a solution, but will help a lot of this going in and out of jail or just being on the streets thing. Our thing is we believe that we need supportive housing. So there's a big difference between low income housing and supportive housing. And that's because a lot of the things that he was mentioning. So like transportation and just getting to certain places to get their medical needs met is a big thing. And so if we have supportive housing where they live there and it's for low income people with mental health challenges and they just have to go like downstairs where maybe there's someone who does medication and a counseling in another office, if it's all in one big building that they live at, then they would be able to bypass a lot of the issues that they're having and not just keep going through the jails and the medical like hospitals and stuff and then being back on the street. That will hopefully help that situation. But the issue is in Nevada, not even just Las Vegas, there is not a single supportive housing option. In other states, there are. So even like California. So on the helpline that we have callers every day asking, where can I put my loved one with a mental health challenge? And it's really disheartening to have to say there is no option here for that. And then they start crying on the phone and we're trying to comfort them and give them resources that are out of state where they might not even have family. So they're trying to ship off their loved one to a place where they know no one. So I feel like if we could all be on board of supporting the supportive housing, then maybe one day we'll finally get that here in Vegas.
Yeah.
Thank you, that's excellent, yeah, I've never heard of that, but that is really amazing, yeah.
Especially if you have examples and models from other states where we could really, like, get some people in to help us come up with budgets for that to bring to our representatives, and be like, hey, let's try this approach, because what we're trying to support.
Right.
Education, mental health, all these other things which are supposed to be helping people, I guess I've been through what I should. I've been through the mental health care system, I've been inside hospitals, I did NRS. I can tell you the system is flawed in many ways. There are many ways that we can legislate, there are many ways that it can be changed, not only to help, people who are not homeless, but people who are homeless. There are many ways, because, for example, just sitting out, the credit card, if you're like a teenager or something, don't know how to activate a credit card or not old enough, well, there's a door. So, we also need to see, what our police are, supposed to do, handle, what things they should be doing, because there are some things that probably should not even be what they're supposed to be doing. And also with healthcare, so we need to see this as wider things as well as the house. Because if we don't see the other systems and what they can do, this situation. Does that make sense?
What's a challenge? It's almost a thing. So I have two relatives who have schizophrenia. They're both male. One we lost for some years, and my cousin is not a family. So he lives with her. She makes sure he takes his meds. She has to coerce him, like, okay, well, I'll give you a cigarette and take your meds, But the other one, no one can grab a hold of him first. He was here for a very long time. We would see him out on the streets and take him and try to get him to help him get on his meds. He ended up going to school on his meds and everything, graduated, stopped taking his meds again. And it was this on and off thing because he said he didn't like how they feel. So think about someone with mental health issues, that's schizophrenic, and they won't stay on the meds. So now they're getting out of jail because of the things that they've been doing, maybe stealing or arguing with somebody, or so now because of the mental health issues, now he's facing like 15 years in prison because of it. And his sister, which is my cousin, keeps going to court, so he just needs help. He doesn't need prison. He needs help, but they refuse to give him help. They're going to give him
First things are individual side.
Yeah.
They're going to give him the 15 street. They let him do the situation. What do you do?
Well, and I did it too. My daughter's having, we don't know what kind of issues, because she won't get help, but she's an adult. And so there's nothing to do with it. And we, finally were able, it's been a little while now, but years ago, but like we're finally able to get Metro over to, really be like, no, she needs help, like, please put her on hold, like there's something wrong. And so they finally, after like calling the cops 3 or 4 times, they finally, and she went 72 hours, they're like, "You're fine, nothing wrong with you." That story that Jessica said, like, I feel that personally, like, it's really bummer.
Well, I don't think they have any place here to really. And I also had a niece that I gained guardianship over when my sister passed. We knew she had some mental health issues going on. And as a teenager, she was on and off of meth. It was just always a problem. But every time she went to court as a teenager, as a child, and would get caught stealing from the store, we'd go pick her up. We keep telling them, can you just keep her? Can you just give her some help? Something's wrong with her. Just give her some help. Why do you keep letting her back out? All these things she keeps committing little crimes, but she's a teenager. And if you have a parent, which is my sister, who was very ill, couldn't take care of her, keep saying, "Can you just keep her? I can't do it, I need help," and they keep letting her. So for me, the system here failed her.
Yeah.
Because now she's an adult on the streets in California. She's back and forth. So if they could have helped her when she was younger, maybe she wouldn't be in this predicament that she's in now. So I don't think, they don't have anything in place here. That's for the youth, or teenagers, they don't have nothing.
So then why don't we start with the shelter? Where we have shelters around the city, right? And it's the same issue, they're full, there's no food, there's no funding, all the beds are taken. But those shelters were designed and those people are trained to work in these situations. So if we can at least start there, offer them support, see where they're lacking, where are those gaps, where are those issues? Maybe that can at least be a starting point, because we do have shelters. They need the support first to really get this going. Maybe one shelter is only focused on those with mental health issues. Other one is focused on those with addiction as we go on and go forward. Some shelters have a lot of extra space, some don't, but I think they're the ones that need the support where we can at least start. That's a great starting point.
Yeah.
You know, I think people are in there.
Yeah.
And it's just ridiculous to me that the shelters have to fundraise.
I mean, things that of course, from not only other states, but other countries, and Sweden and other Scandinavian countries that are not having this same issue that. And it's really bad, so. We need to take some of those, if we don't have.
I really wish that I knew how we could track the percentage of people that access the emergency room without. And how many of those people are experiencing a mental health crisis, substance abuse problems, or you know, repeat homelessness.
Yes, is it here?
Because I think if we had that number,
Okay, thank
like,
you.
you know, hey.
The officers.
It's costing, you know, whatever the number would be, like $1 billion a year in healthcare. Because we don't have any housing, so let's take that, take it with $1 billion that we put into healthcare, our hospitals, and put that into a shelter to provide the medical, the substance abuse, so there's a workforce development.
One of the things that's really hard sometimes too is like with the grant funds that are available, where like they're all pair of last report, and some of them are really, really rigid about what that means. So like we have a parent disorders program for people who have both substance use and mental health diagnoses for, it's like very like more intense diagnoses that they're much lower functioning. And it's a 5-day-a-week group with, I mean, it's basically 16 hours of therapy a week. It's a program that's not really offered many other places in town, especially for this income. And one of our funders was through the city, and they were saying, well, no, if this person has Medicare, you have to, we, as the type of facility that we are, we can't accept Medicare, but we can take Medicaid. And if they're, but typically when a person doesn't have the insurance, or like they have insurance we can't accept, we can then charge them to some of our grants. Because it can be considered a payer of last resort, but in this case, but in this case, the city was like, no, they have Medicare, so they just have to go somewhere where they can use Medicare. We're like, but who would accept Medicare and they don't offer 17 hours of therapy a week to someone who can't pay anything? Like the people who can accept Medicare are licensed psychologists, like licensed psychiatrists, like these are people who can charge $200 an hour. They don't want to take on 16 hours of a client that can't pay them. You know, so they're like the system itself creates these barriers and then wonders why there's not success.
I think the only resource there might be other resources I can think about the top of my head that offers a free therapist is, you know, we have to take free student, you have to, you have to give something, they have to be tuition. A lot of people cannot afford that. So I usually so you just gotta pay that, and it's still not free.
That's what I'm saying, it's not even free, it's just something that's gonna be included with your scholarship. Their tuition.
So there's almost no way unless basically scratch and pay. to find something.
So, welcome, sir. Would you mind introducing yourself and?
I'm sorry, I'm a little late. I got back from jail. Well, for Solomon, I think I was out for 6 years now. I'm not exactly sure what you guys are, what this was actually all about. But it sounds like you guys are operating resources and. We are. My boss just sent me here and I was like. I'm not sure.
Get organizations, businesses, and everybody together to address the homeless population and the uptick in homeless population, and in that, the uptick in the criminal activity that's been taking place. Many people here have had property damage, people have been assaulted personally, and what are the resources out there? What is the answer to mitigate this problem? Because it's only gonna get worse, and a lot of the programs that were helping people pay and that kind of stuff are ending. And so, we've gone over that 70%, 30%. What we do, we, tend to deal with 30, we, interact with 30%. And so even within that 30%, there's still not enough resources, there's not, what's in place isn't working. So what can we do to fix the problem? Because it's a growing problem and it's only going to get worse.
So is this the communities around this specific area or is this valley-wide?
Valley-wide.
Okay. Yeah, so, I mean, I can tell you what we do specifically when we do, so I'm actually part of the downtown community oriented policing, so. So all this way to Owens, basically just to North Las Vegas and, to North, yeah. So we cover a pretty large, area and most of the homeless population here is downtown, so we encounter a lot of them. I'm sure just, if this is your guys' building, I'm sure you guys encounter a lot of them, that push the way off the side here, since we've been here. So yeah, keeping them people out of people's, properties is a huge issue, but they're gonna go where the resources are, resources around here, so they're gonna go where the resources are for sure. What we do when we encounter them is we offer them resources for the sites. And, the first one we go to most of the time is, West Care. We go to West Care, we got sorry, I'm a little flustered. Like I said, we got right back to the jail. So we got a resource, there's the other detox facility that we use quite a bit. And it's right next to UMC across, Lake on the name, Crossroads. There's the Crossroads, and they work with us really well. So there is a lot of detox facilities. The problem we're having is them actually asking for help. Obviously, we cannot force help on somebody. We can't force anyone. And it's not illegal to be mentally ill. And nobody's trying to make it illegal, of course, but it only becomes a problem when it affects other people, right? So we obviously push for them. We advise them of all the services. I mean, we have a little barcode. They all have phones now, so we have a little barcode they scan from our phone, and it pops up. It's pretty large for here. I can show it to you guys. You guys like to see it, but there is a ton of resources for them. And also, it's called a Giving Saturday. So we discourage people from going out to just hand out from the side of the road, because that's the whole give a fish a day. Teach them how to do it. So on the Giving Saturdays, that's when we get the community partners together. We don't specifically, but we show up there, we donate, our foundation donates, and we set up, we talk to them. Because we're, like you guys, trying to bridge that gap. We don't want them to be animosity, we want them to report their problems that are part of the community. Just as much as you and I. So it's called Giving Saturday. It's the first Saturday of every month, or maybe second Saturday. I did it this Saturday, so it's the second Saturday of every month. And we have giving cows, like they give out stuff to the dogs and all that stuff. There's a ton of resources out for them, and a lot of them overlap, they don't even know about each other.
Yeah,
And that's where we get into a lot of them, the community funds, we don't even know about.
yes.
And, we just started sending people to this new program's right there on, Washington and all this. They'll give them housing right then and there. And they'll give them housing right then and there, and they'll drop them off at detox, so facilitate them all the way through.
Really?
Yes.
Do you know the name of that facility?
And this is being recorded and everybody will have.
Okay.
Mhm.
They pull up, I got their number and their card and everything, and I've used them 3 times.
Mhm.
And that doesn't sound like a lot, but I'm the only one who's got anybody to do it. Because, again, forcing, you can't force people into this. And a lot of people like the freedom of being on the street. I'm sorry, I gotta go through some stuff to find it, but, if you get that.
Okay, yeah, definitely.
Take all the time here.
Oh,
I wonder. For the side.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's at the courtyard. It's, the courtyard.
yes.
Yeah.
So like I said, we don't want people going around it because it's asking about. And if you've been down there lately, you notice that the sidewalks are not there. So so we had to clear that out when it was like during COVID time, it became a little bit more lax on it. We're let take path that they're whole. It became like a skid row. I'm not gonna lie. It was like a skid row. There was a ton of tents and there was a bunch of violence. There was a lot of stuff going on. That made people not wanna walk down the sidewalk or go get the help that they wanted. So we need first that's not gonna happen, people don't feel free to even get the services, so we cleared them out. Unfortunately, when we cleared those people out, those are, chronically homeless people that come out. I forgot the term you used, but reluctant to get services, right? So they'll go out and so they're refusing to help, so they go out to the neighborhoods, they steal your kids' bike, they do whatever, so, and then they end up inside your business.
So with you all having, encounters and stuff like that, what do you all think would be a legitimate solution? Cause you guys, more than anybody, receive we don't want the help. So what do you think needs to be put in place for you guys to have more ability to be able to get people where they need to be?
That is a tough question because that's what all of society is trying to figure out, right? I don't have an answer. I don't have a solution. It's kind of a case by case scenario. And each person's individual. Obviously if they're committing criminal acts, we handle that. If they're looking for help, I have the resources for them. I give to those resources. A lot of the times I'm not a standard patrol cop, so I have the time to take into those services. We're getting them to where they need to go if they want the services, But when it comes to families and stuff, it's easier to help them out because, they obviously want to keep their kids on the streets, I don't have an answer.
So do you have a car or can we follow you if you're within this area? Situation like that?
If this is your property, that's.
Yeah, because before you guys, they were talking about a lot of problems.
Yeah, I mean,
There's really not much being done. There.
yeah, so. This is a difficult area right here because there's resources over here, and obviously, there is property owners that are reluctant to upkeep their lots and stuff. I'm trying to make it sound not rude, but they need to take care of their lots.
Right.
At the end of the day, they need to not allow people to stay on those lots, and when they stay on those lots, they come over and they cause problems everywhere. Because we disperse them and they move somewhere else, they disperse them and move somewhere else. So when it comes down to it, we work in Macon City too. And we cleaned that up a lot, but that was the property managers coming together. And that's the same thing we did here. We started setting up meetings where everybody gets together from the properties.
Yeah.
They meet together, they actually invested in security, that they get. Because we can't come to every, if you tell me I got a camp that's set up, I put it in my service request, I go over there it gets put in a list, we handle them when it comes, when we can get to them. And, right now with all the other stuff that's going on, I'm not gonna say that it's not a priority. It gets handled in order. But them working together is what's gonna solve it. It's you guys working together. It's the property owners that are out of state. We get codes involved. The property owners that are out of state, we don't want upkeep there. They want us to lot. They don't want to do anything to better the area. And we get codes involved and like, hey, you have all this trash on your empty lot here. You're gonna get fined. I'm sorry, I'm taking a lot of time.
What you're talking about is what we said at the last over. That's what our challenge.
Exactly.
So well, because you're actually hitting what we're standing outside and listening.
And you said you weren't prepared.
Right. Now, I worked with, I don't know if you guys know Lenny, she's a radio manager over.
Okay.
Also 750 Sahara for the coin mark.
Okay.
Yeah, wherever I'm at, that guy, I've talked to him pretty much every day, it seems like. This area. So every first Tuesday of the month. Unfortunately, this first Tuesday lands on the 4th, so I'm not sure what they're gonna do with it. We invite everybody, but it's, swear to God, we get like the same 10 people. And I try to tell everybody I come in contact, come here, come to our first Tuesday meeting, tell my captain, tell my bosses what your problems are, because
Awesome.
we want to hear them, and we want to do what we can to help them. We have limited resources like you, and recruiting is a problem for us right now, obviously, but we get to them when we can, and we want to help you guys, because we know this area is thriving. You're not gonna have the homeless people in here, right? When the businesses are occupied, it's when you get the birth down buildings that you got down at the end. They come, I mean, I kick them out, I arrest 5 of them. I do 5 to repopulate, I don't know where they're gonna come from, but. Repopulate.
I definitely want to get with you for the list of the different resources that you guys do offer and meetings and stuff, so that we can get that dispersed as well.
Just to segue in terms of folks, Solomon was out today. Again, I'm Mujahid Ramadan. I facilitate Metro's Multicultural Advisory Council. And probably until about 2 months ago, the advisory council really hadn't heard very much about the issue of mental health and its relationship with crime, and also the resources of the LVMPD. So what we decided to do is we meet once a month with the sheriff and his executive command staff. And this is probably an issue that kind of shows up sparsely on our radar screen, because what we mainly deal with is multicultural, ethnic diversity, cultural competence. AJ and I collaborate with the LGBTQ Center around what we call a doctor competition, where we have active police officers. We're training to go there, spend time with LGBTQ. And they did things on this course. This is trying to do better educate the young officers, the entire agency itself, about the different various questions. But something that doesn't come across our radar screen very much is not categorized in terms of race, ethnicity, religion, and sexual orientation. There's a homeless population, but we know that they have some things. It's something that, and so what we did is we put the CCDC on the agenda to let them explain to the MAC members, which is about 25, 30 people, who are made up of different ethnic groups, different events, background, LGBTQ centers there. We have people in the gay, lesbian, transgender community that are there. And so we've addressed a bunch of issues around that. Now, we want to know about the mental health issues. What we discovered, I was aware of it, is that CCDC, 50% of their inmate population are people dealing with mental health. And of course, our members were, well, that shouldn't be in the culture and this and that. So it was the normal reaction I anticipated from them. But one thing that came away and they were talking about, is something that I've heard here, that the advisory council members should then begin to talk to other people because it's not an LGBT issue that they have to deal with. They clearly see that the 50% of the people in CCDC with mental health issues and many of them come through because they're home, they don't belong in there. And I heard somebody just said, it's been talking about 15 years incarceration. It's not the place to be. And I'm a part of the Muslim community. We provide services in CCDC, and I remember a young man who he was up on a home invasion charge, likely to a misdemeanor. But the other option was he was going to get some jail time. And he was emphatic about it. He said he was Muslim. I think it was a little bit, he had been shot in the head when he was younger. He was traumatized. But his issue was that he shouldn't have been in CCDC. CCDC knows. Even Metro knows. That's why they're doing things like now, coupling men in area commands like Officer Solomon, when there's a call, when we can, let's get a mental health technician to go out there, because when you call 911, it goes into, you're gonna get the person who's there for public safety. These guys are doing the best they can.
Exactly.
Another thing that Officer Solomon mentioned, I would strongly really emphasize it, because we see that in collaborative effort. Officer Solomon, what he didn't give you the other key that I'm gonna try to share with. He says, come to first Tuesday, because you're gonna talk to the captain. The captain's gonna turn to Landon Reyes, the lieutenant, and say, okay, because now your situation is gonna get prioritized. It's Officer Solomon has prioritizing from his division level, what he does with COD. Okay. But when the captain hears from you, Paul, and actually someone even asking Landon, Lieutenant Reyes, who's the administrative lieutenant to the captain, because he's going to be the one to make sure it's carried out. So then it becomes a priority for the captain, so it's a priority for the administrative lieutenant. Now Solomon has the support he needs, and he'll say to himself, that's what I've been trying to tell him all the time. But it works for us, so they are part-time. So you can help him move it up on the priority list just by coming to first Tuesday. Now, last what we see the people I see, let's just say that's a bold every command, Northwest. The people who most need to be at the first Tuesday meetings don't show. Like this group needs to be at the first Tuesday meeting, because the captain in downtown area is going to say, we're going to prioritize this because it's come to first Tuesday. So then assistable people will be involved. Administrative lieutenant is going to be talking to the sergeant on the COP. He's going to be reporting to him. So now you got somebody you can call, and then what you can pick up the phone. Maybe you can't reach the captain, and you get it, but Lieutenant Reyes will be there. Actually, you probably want, I would suggest, I'm not putting this on Solomon, I would suggest to you that actually what I will take it upon myself to do as the facilitator for the advisory council is to make sure that if anyone wants to, we'll facilitate a meeting with Lieutenant Reyes. So that he can get a look at this ahead of time, and I'm gonna strongly encourage you to take this, I'm not promoting that to a sergeant, but I'm also promoting that, so take the ultimate advice, outside advice, come to the first Tuesday meeting, explain what you experienced, not really by yourself. And so we're gonna be advising the advisory council, the maximums that they be brought out so that they take a better look at this, because mental health effects, no matter which ethnicity has to be, mental health is the equal opportunity employee when it comes to health issues. And so we will probably with Bob and AJ to really come to an advisory council meeting because this will give you a chance to say, not only talk about the center and its service we provide, but the factor in this piece. And it's gonna hit because we know it happens to be there, we see this, we're just not as well informed into it. So go to that first Tuesday meeting, if there's a situation to prioritize. And you allow those resources because they respond more when you go there than here. And get someone from, like I said, I suggest if you choose to agent, like facilitate and make sure you get a meeting with Lieutenant Reyes. You know the captain, but let's get Lieutenant Reyes in on it, when he comes to the first Tuesday, and we do some follow-up, and, we'll just use the role of the advisory council. Finally, something, the advisory council really, one of the ideas is to better inform the agency about the community demographics. You know, who are we in Southern Nevada? You know, 3 million people, who are we? Outside of Lincoln Stanley Cup finals last night. Yeah, it was probably before, and so and that's why we do the adoption card. So when the officers now come out of field training, before they even go into full-time, for their probation, we probably had, at this point, probably there's 15 officers out on the street who knows about the other, all the resources provided. And also they lobby their friends and their other colleagues, look, we need to better understand this. And so, but we do this in homeless shelters, we do it in schools, we do it in recreation centers, we do it in churches, because we want the officers, men and women, to know this is what Southern Nevada looks like. And you're providing services for a very diverse composition of people from different ethnic backgrounds, different religions, different sexual orientation. There are a lot of things you do. And the more you know about them, the better it's going to be provided better public safety, safer community. There's going to be better collaboration. Sheriff McMahill's is agenda is humanity. Heard you talk, he often keeps these guys ready to move humanity. He'll talk about it. You have to remember your humanity. He operated say very publicly. He had a swearing in, it was at the Blind Center. First sheriff sworn in, not sworn in the Metro, not sworn in the Government Center. He said, I'm the sheriff of the community. So I'm gonna have this swearing in the community at the Blind Center. And one thing he said, that was very profound. He said, I don't care who's going to do that. That's not my concern. My concern is that public safety is the thing. So you really have a sheriff. And if we can get this lens turned a bit more here, and homelessness and mental health, he stood up a mental health, a wellness division, because he realizes that, like we're talking about mental health issues, his men and women in that agency, he'll tell you, people in police work smell things, hear things, see things. Their 5 senses exposed to things human beings are just not most exposed to. And as a result of that, he sees the impact it's having on the mental health of the agency. And as a result of that, he set up an entire new division to make sure we have to better provide help for these men who are smelling, seeing, touching, experiencing things that's impacting their lives, because the better their mental health will be, and the better services they're going to provide to those who have mental health issues on the street. So this is probably really the right time to elevate this within LFPD. We're not saying he can do much more, because Officer Solomon just mentioned, and we're full of that, but everybody around the country, whatever industry you're in, is faced with food. We now have the FBI attempting to model Metro's programs in terms of building diverse organizations, building diverse networks. The DA's office, Steve Wilson's just getting ready to stand up a similar concept like Multicultural Advisory Council. But Clark County School District is actually getting ready to stand up. So that the timing is very good for you at this point in time. And of course, as you all are very well aware, LGBTQ transgender issues are waving across this country. And it's just not the fact of who we are, who you are. It's now this wokeism, this pushback against those who've been marginalized and the gains that have been made. It's how it raises. We have so many isms that are active since 2016. So it's going to take us working and joining together in order to build those engaging collaborations with public safety, with government entities, and you also have a city council. I know Brian Canoes, a real big issue for he's part of this community, and he's also very much involved in their mental health issues. And his district itself, I think it's Brian, this is Brian district.
I don't know, I usually work, Olivia, yes.
Yes.
She goes to a lot of her food there, she was at a lot of them. So, and now with that, they're held at the downtown area, and, night of dance, they been to, he was to everyone's place for a long time.
Yeah, we've had that on, she's amazing, honestly, like, most of them are city council.
Homelessness out there, I mean, it doesn't.
Well, and that's their, like, you know, the stuff that went on with the mayor years ago, like, her, you know, But, you know, maybe if we do go to this first Tuesday meeting, or if we do show up to talk to our city council people, you know, we might have something about it, so.
How we find out during the July 4th is on Tuesday.
If you follow our Facebook page, downtown area on Facebook page, I meant to ask about it today, my boss was out. Like he was saying, Lieutenant Reyes is really open and, like, he likes, I like engagement. My sergeant who's in charge of us, he's, sergeant.
Oh,
Downtown area. Yeah.
What is it like T-Tag Las Vegas?
Metro website.
Thank you.
And you can tell again, the Metro get called all the time, they carry 2 cell phones around, one is the other one with the sheriff.
Yeah, usually. LVMPD. Yes.
Yeah.
And then, the resource that you guys were asking about is called Vegas Barometer. And I have a card that if you guys come across anybody, you guys can, call them up and they'll come and pick them up. If there's they're really great people that I actually talk to. We've also been utilizing sober homies. I know, like, they're all like reformed and they're all really good people too. They're like a Christian based thing, but they'll also get people right off the streets, set them up with jobs. There's a lot of where are they working? Sober homies they have 6 properties, all in Charlie too, or sorry, maybe. We want to really do, but it's Naked City, yes. I don't know if you guys know, Naked City is like behind the stratosphere. It was our worst area, like the most violent and it still is not the best. But it is a lot better. I'll tell you that.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
so,
remember when, I moved here almost 15 years ago, we're like, don't go past the stratosphere.
yeah, I mean, it's still not somewhere I would honestly either. Like, I'll be honest with you, it's still not somewhere I would honestly have wondered. But it is, it's definitely different than it was.
Yeah. And now I'm like, I work with us.
But there's sober homies that, like, if you come across somebody that's like legitimately wanting to change and they're like more faith-based, sober homies is great. And then there's also for kids over there, if you come across the families, Catholic Luz, they mentor kids, children, all kinds of kids, but they're also more faith-based, but they're also helping a lot of the kids at Roy Martin. Roy Martin is huge with all kinds of issues, race issues, gang issues, bullying, when it comes to LGBTQ, that type of stuff is bullying over there. I know I spent the last 2 months of the school year over there dealing with kids, talking to those kids, trying to mentor those kids. And I don't know if the center, I've been to the center several times. I've been there several times. I don't know. Do you guys help kids?
Yeah, we have a youth program.
Yeah.
We don't have shelter.
I know.
We have-
More like that.
Yeah, we have a youth program and they can go and, we can help them out with like bus passes and, food and.
So I think they just like looking for itself, like a place where they feel like they belong.
Yeah.
Sleep. And honestly, I tell them about the shelter, but at the same time, I guess I didn't really know that there was a youth program there for them.
Yeah, I'll give it, I'll see if I have a card on me. Come by and I'll just.
Something that you may consider, like Officer Solomon, he's here with us now, like, actually, after he's got it. season that is, if your hands been on track, you can do it in his sleep, he'll transfer somewhere else, and a new person will come in. And if you don't connect with that new person, that engagement will be lost. And so that's what happens with many area commands. A captain will leave, a lieutenant will leave, a sergeant will leave, COP sergeant leaves, another person comes in. And what we found worked most effectively is that the community makes sure we stay engaged with the new people come in. Have a type relationship that when Officer Solomon gets ready to leave, his COP officer or he himself says, you know, I'm bringing him out to the next guy who's gonna replace me, I'm gonna bring him out to you. So that person will be handed off to you and you become a priority. Where we find the most success in community engagement, where we see crime going down because of that, that's basically what has happened. Is that the relationship with the area command or the agency doesn't break off on transition. The Multicultural Advisory Council has been in existence since Jerry Keller. So it was Bill Young, and Doug Gillespie for 2 terms and Joe Lombardo. Why is it work so effective? Because the advisory council, while it's within LVMPD, is really driven 50% or maybe 60% by the community. So no matter who the new sheriff happens to be, the members on the MAC committee have for the same individuals, and this person who's coming in to be sheriff, he's had some of that type of touch already. So like Kevin McNeil came out of Bolton Area Command. So from Bolton, he became the chief. So the policing strategy of community engagement that occurred in Bolton that drove crime down 45%, then he keeps that as a sheriff. Now, in terms of area command, you have to almost do the same thing. If there's a captain, he'll focus. The new captain may have a new focus or another priority. But by yourselves, AJ, being engaged with when the new captain comes in, he already comes in knowing, okay, I'm in touch with the other people. Or many times, the organization heads change. And as a result of that, the new organization head may not get handed off to them.
Right.
So we're really trying to encourage community members because we continue to work.
And that's the, nonprofits have a tendency to have a lot of overturn too. And we had lost touch for a while.
Right.
But I'm glad that we're
Right. And it's the first time we.
actually met in person.
We're communicating, we rock and roll all the time. I mean, and so and it's effective in that regards. Bond this relationship, and I appreciate it because we're trying to expand this, be more inclusive. And I think the opportunity happens to be here, and I would suggest they're also possible with it. Maybe the next time we have a bar together like this, you let me know. I'll reach out to the captain, for the land and really, I'd like to see him. He has the time to say, okay, I'm gonna take this, get it dispersed where we can get some resources. That's a good option.
So it sounds like, it is the connectivity between everybody, between organizations with Metro and everything, which is what it seemed like why I wanted to get this going. And to know what resources we can do and that kind of stuff and where we can go and get talked to. So it sounds like once we really get ourselves together, once we really rally and then start going to these different areas, like you said, where it will wind up ending up with legislation and getting things changed and stuff like that, but we gotta get that, we have to be a cohesive team and then go to the right people and get that ground going. So.
I just wanted to say.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. No, yeah, we're starting towards, because it's 4:40, but we have time to lot of products, so.
Okay. So I just wanted to say thank you for being here. I think that the reason that we're here to start, when I came in, I was like, well, what do we do about it? Metro's not here, so I really can't have a one-sided conversation. I know that there are a lot of people in our community that are triggered by police officers. And that's a hard thing to overcome even at the center, right? Like this is a hard thing. And we have the Adopt a Cop program. And we modify it a little bit because of the public opinion. We don't do uniforms. But I have to say that every time we do it, there is eye-opening that comes out of it, a whole bunch of gratitude from the officers that participate, because we take them through every aspect of all of the resources that we provide. But we also start off with a training on our community. So they get at the very beginning, the history, why there's a problem between us police officers. You know, what is the LGBTQ civil rights movement? Like, how have we progressed from there? And, you know, where are we at now? With people in our community still being harassed and this type of stuff, right? And they're just like, and then we did some fun stuff too, but like, it is an education. I mean, you know, they do get to know about this and they are open, and then they bring stuff back. We had a policy issue come up, and those officers were able to be like, hey, this senior officer didn't know this part of this policy, and we can work to make that different, right? Make sure that people do know the policies when it comes to our community and what they need to know. And so it, you know, any of you would be interested in something like that, or if you think even maybe there's a chance you might be, I would definitely, you know, reach out, because it's been really impactful, I think, for us as well. To know that there are officers that are open, and everybody that comes in there is amazing. And I think that having this community conversation, and we know the needs of Metro too, with their other stuff. They need help with recruitment and all that kind of stuff. Like, if we just stay separate, we can't make change. And we're all here because we love our community and we want to help people. And I think that if we can come together, we can come up with solutions, and then we go, hey, you know, the nonprofits in this area have this problem, Metro's sick of it too. Like, we're all coming together to you, city council member or mayor, like, or governor, like, this is what needs to be done, you know? So I think this is a great start. Thank you so much for doing this.
I thank you guys for participating in this. I really appreciate it. And it sounds like, it's like taking that model of what you've done with the Center of the LGBT community and doing that for mental health, doing that for the homeless population, and getting them in touch, because I was surprised to know that this wasn't something that was already on your all's radar in the first place, and that it hasn't been, you know, in conversation, because it's certainly coming ours. So to actually bring that to the table and get that where the, you know, the people in charge are aware of the problems that we do face and that kind of thing, and the police officers like that, and not, you know, about the cop, and they can see what we see every day.
Yes.
So that definitely helpful. So I think we kind of, if anyone would like to connect further, feel free to reach out. Okay, Jessica left her contact information. I'll put it up so you guys can see it, but I'll also be sharing everybody's information via email and everything. And she's Jessica's the one that provides mental health services for
AMR.
sorry.
AMR, when that shows up. We have an ambulance that shows up occasionally, if crisis response van.
Oh.
Know what you're talking about?
No, this is Nami.
Oh,
Yeah. Okay. And like I said, and Angelica, if you would like to introduce yourself and let everybody know your organization and the services you provide, please.
Sure. Thanks so much. Hi, everyone. My name is Angelica. I work with Community Outreach Medical Center. I'm the Director of Operations here. In short, because I don't want to take up everyone's time, we offer primary care services. We are also funded through Ryan White's Part A and Part B for outpatient ambulatory health services, non-medical case management, medical case management, as well as eligibility services. And we also are the pilot site for Cabenuva, an injectable drug for those living with HIV and AIDS. We also service or provide other programs such as women's health. We have a specialized prenatal program, as well as family planning, of course, general med or primary care. And then we also have an on-site pharmacy here. And then we do have another community partner that is funded by Ryan White, which is AHN, who is in the same building as us. So that's COMC in short. Are there any particular questions that I can ask about or answer about our services? All right. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to introduce myself.
Definitely, and thank you for coming, though, very much appreciated. And this, this is being recorded, so it will be available for everybody to view and for you to be able to share and, you know, with the community and stuff like that, so that they can see what we're working towards and where we're going and that kind of thing. Okay, and for you all as well, for anybody that you guys who wasn't able to make it and that kind of thing, it will be available on our website. So, it seems like we kind of have a plan of action of the Tuesday event at the very least. Is that something that you all are interested in actually going to and, you know, getting?
Is it possible that once a date's confirmed, an email can be sent?
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. I'll get the information, I'll send it to you.
Perfect, thank you. And so, but yeah, continuing this, did you guys find this to be helpful and informative? Is this something that you guys would be interested in continuing to do monthly to keep it going and, you know, keep it moving and actually get this on their radar, you know, apparently, and, you know, get some momentum going for it?
Everything you guys said, I promise you, is on our radar. Like, this is a huge, you guys coming together will absolutely help us out. Bringing it loud and things when the captain in the Senate, it's definitely not gonna hurt. So, especially the center is in our area. I've been there several times. It's a shame that I haven't done a tour and all that. You know.
Well, I don't have a.
You
Definitely come by.
guys are always friends.
But he's gonna be coming back for a tour, he's gonna bring his whole COP, you know.
I have to tell you, like, a really profound moment happened for me that really changed my way of thinking about policing was, it was right, when the Pulse nightclub shooting happened. We had just, like, we were in a baby brand new relationship with Metro, and, Pulse happened, and at the time I was like researching the Stonewall riot. And so I'm like looking at all of these images, trying to make a presentation, a slideshow, like teaching my youth about that history and what happened, and it's all of these graphic images and these stories, and it was like, oh, us and the police conflict, right? You know? And so that's where like my brain is at, like, oh, these guys are jerks, like, you know, they're abusing us and all this stuff, right? So then Pulse happened, and there was a vigil at the center, and it was a big deal, like it hit us really hard. We were scared, and like, you know, it's just it was a shock. And like when I drove away from that event, you know, there were Metro cars surrounding the building with their lights on. There were officers on horseback with the horse tails lit up. And I just remember having these two like images in my brain that was what was happening. There's still problems, but they're here to protect us tonight, you know? And that shift, it was just a weird kind of thing. And so like ever since then, we've had, you know, a really good relationship that was, you know, just kind of not fostered for a while after COVID and stuff, and we're getting back into it. And I firmly believe, you know, and I know, you know, who I am and everything, but like, I just feel like we can get back to that community where we know each other and we like that the officers know the community, that they know the people in the community, you know, and get them help that they need, so that you can become a trusted, you know, that somebody you would run to instead of away from again. That's, I think, what we would all serve us all better. You know, that takes us working on both sides.
And she's so, I mean, that is so factual. We had a maybe 21, 22-year-old female. Went through the adoption program, she was placed at the center. And when she came back, it was because we briefed them before they go out, and we debriefed them, how was the experience? And when she was being debriefed, she broke down and started crying, which told me she had concepts in her mind of the gay lesbian population that had been dispelled by being there 2 or 3 days. And she said, we are so unfair and so blind. She's telling this and she becomes emotional. I want to share it here. So we invited her to the next MAC meeting, and she went right back and told them, this is what we do as an agency in order to better understand and engage with their response. So that's our responsibility there. You know, I heard said, you know, he's Spanish, he was there for 2 days. He said the first call he got the next week came from something happening at the center, somebody was there trying to tax him. He said, you know, I drove there with a sense of urgency that I don't think I would have driven there with, because I know the people at the center. And just those type of things tells us it works. That when a person goes up who has one perception, the biases that we inherit is going up and they're dispelled. So now she becomes an advocate for the young man said, I drove fast because I have friends there. I know people there, and they know me, so I felt a sense of responsibility to get there as quick as I could. And when he said like getting that quick, I'm only gonna get that quick. He will be ready to put his life on the line for those individuals, and it's more closer to him now because I know him. He's gonna put his life on the line. He'll put his life on the line first. I would expect him to. But if he knows you, oh, the more than that one. Please take advantage of it. Thank you.
And I do hope that all of us do that to build these relationships, because it takes relationships, it takes a community, it takes relationships. And so taking advantage of that so they can get a very first-hand look as far as what we experience. Because they know their experience with them, it's usually just a little bit long, but really getting that interpersonal experience with the mental health and all that kind of stuff, you know, I really think that it will make a difference, and they can, like you said, go back with more passion and more understanding about what it is that's being dealt with the community members, to be able to, again, further that cause and further that information and moving that up the chain. So I do, because which often happens is that we're the day never comes. So if you guys are available to it with like every, what is this, the second Wednesday, is that something that you guys can do? Is it a day that can be committed to, or is it, you know, like, how would that work for you all and you all schedule?
The regular one is probably the best, just so people can't do every, they at least know when to expect it.
Exactly. Awesome. So this is second Wednesday. So how do you guys feel about the second Wednesday, everyone? Okay. So I will put that on the schedule and send out I'll go ahead and send out the invite so we can go ahead and everybody's schedule with everything. And again, I very much appreciate all of you for coming. I appreciate it. And hopefully, because I don't know if you guys saw the invite list, there was a good like 7 people that were on the invite list. You guys are the ones that showed up. So
We can't accommodate that many, just that why.
oh no, yeah, no, that's like they were, you know, it was like to be determined depending on who said they would. Because we like there's a discovery center and all that kind of stuff, trying to, you know, to get a room, you guys consider, yeah, exactly. So we were gonna get in touch with community partners if it was bigger. But, and I imagine that much to this, again, 60 to 70 people, you know, we've made up a great group, but it's not as big as who was invited. And I imagine that's the same thing that they encounter with their Tuesdays and stuff like that. You know, these ones and Tuesdays showing up, getting it out there, but it's not a consistent thing. And so I would hope that, you know, at least representative at some point can regularly come to the Tuesdays and keep it in their face as well. And it's like, this is what's going on, the updates, this, you know.
Yeah, it's the same. Same like 10 people that go to the first Tuesday, I think they're there for 3 details.
You should have left with that.
This show of.
Thank you all. It will be on you guys' calendar. That'll actually go out today. And I really appreciate you all passion for what you do and the struggles that you all face, but continue to do. And I really appreciate all of you attending virtual as well as in person. I appreciate everything so much.
Thank you.
So emails will be forthcoming. Don't ever repeat my name. Thank you, team. I very much appreciate you guys, and I'll let everybody know video is available. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you want to just,